Hey, what's up, dudes? HW here. I want to really quickly show you how easy it is to dial in just a straightforward worship tone on the HX Stomp. It's going to be straightforward, simple, but also very usable and very versatile, actually. You're going to be able to use this on a lot of stuff. I'll show you more of that at the end of the video of everything that it'll kind of work over. But I had a buddy come up to me and he said, HW, I've got to play rhythm electric for this worship event that we've got coming up. And now I've known this guy to be an acoustic guitar player, a singer, kind of a worship leader, you know? And he said, I've got a Telecaster. Do you have anything that's simple I can just plug straight in and get, you know, kind of a nice worship tone? And I thought, yeah, that's easy to do. So we're going to build this really quick. I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to build this really simple on the HX Stomp. And our goal is to give two options to the player. You're going to have a tap tempo, so that's separate, right? You always want to be able to tap in your the timing and stuff to sort of match the song, right? But two options. How much drive do you want? So do you want it more dirt or less dirt? And two, how much verb and delay? So do you want it dirtier or cleaner? Do you want more or less space? If we do that, we're going to have a clean and dirty sound ready for more driving rhythms to play that stuff. We're also going to have a more spacey sound, clean or dirty, to be able to hit the ones, just do those big ones. Or if you want to, you can come up and play some higher up stuff and it's going to sound super worshipy. We're going to it's just going to work, okay? So I got out my Telecaster, I got out my HX Stomp. Here's what we're dealing with. First things first, I've got my Matchstick Channel 1, okay? These are basically the stock settings. I'm lowering the gain to 3.5. I'm going to show you how to set all this up with the switches and stuff in a moment and the options we're going to give. But I'm just pulling up basically the stock matchless CH1, Channel 1. I love this amp in the Helix and the HX Stomp. It's a great one. Next, I've got an IR here. These are the 5 free IRs that I'm putting in the link down below. Okay, these are my 5 favorite IRs that I use on everything. They're free at the link down below. Grab them. I'm putting this 69 Marshall 412 with greenbacks. To me, it's just great sounding. I know it works with this amp. I've had versions of this amp, a Bad Cat version of this amp, a matchless version of this amp. The C30 is just like a well-known circuit. Mark Sampson invented it. It's been built under a couple different names. And there's just many iterations of it. It's a great AC30-esque boutique type thing. I know that running it into greenbacks is going to be awesome. Okay, enough about that. Let me just show you what that sounds like right now. So it's going to just sound like this with my telly on the middle position. Clean, right? Clean and dry. Now, I can take this and I can actually up it a little bit to like 3.7. I just want a little bit of hair. That's cool because if I go to the bridge, that's pretty cool. So just with the guitar at this level, we're going to get cleaner. Or we can kind of drive a little and get dirty by just going to the bridge. That's going to be good, okay? Now, we're going to add some verb. So I've got some hall verb. I like hall verb for something like that. You can see my settings right there. Now I've got some verb on here and I like it. I can up this verb a little bit if I want, but I'm going to leave it around 25%. So we've got a good amount of decay on there. I have a long decay, but I like that. I would say leave it around 3 seconds. What you're going to want to do with this pre-delay, you're going to want to go somewhere between 70 and 100. I'm just going to leave it here 75. This is going to get more noticeable when we up it. And also, we're going to feed some delay into it. Now, I've got my transistor tape. I've set it to 1/4. Feedback at 30%. I just want to hear a couple repeats. I'm upping the headroom to 12 decibels. I like to start there. Mix is at 18. I'm going to put it at 20 just for a nice round even number. We're going to sound like this. That is a great little tone right there. You know what I'm saying? That's nice. I can come back clean. That's a beautiful telly kind of rhythm tone. You put that behind some drums, you're leaving somebody else a bunch of room to come back and do the... You know what I mean? Because we're talking about two guitars. So we're relatively good. I believe we're going to be playing kind of low with this tone. We're going to be staying down here. Somebody else is going to be up here, right? So this is how we're kind of going to break it up. Now, we've got all this stuff in here. Okay, now let's go right here. Let's get our dirtier sound first. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to say I want to assign this to foot switch number 1. But what I want to do, I want to change the value. So I'm going to assign it right there. Now I'm going to come back over to bypass control. I'm going to select this one and I'm going to set my minimum and maximum kind of value here. So I want my minimum, my cleaner sound, to be 3.7. Sorry, I dragged with my mouse the wrong way there. I want my I want it to be 3.7, and I want my dirtier tone. I think I want it to be 5, but that might be a little bit much. Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there. So now let's jump back to the edit window here, and let's see. I've assigned that now to foot switch number 1. Okay, so now here's my first option, right? Here's cleaner. Here's dirtier. Little hair on there. If I go to the bridge, now, realistically, I could dirty this up even more. This kind of depends on the guitar and how clean you want it. I tend to like going a little more something like this. I would probably go 4 and 5.3. Let's try that so we see clean and dirty. Now, again, you're getting a lot of the clean and dirty from the bridge and stuff. On a telly, you're going to get the most, you know, sort of drive like this. So if my cleaner sound is like this, you know what I'm saying? But if I really want to clean it up, that kind of thing. If I want to get dirtier, on the bridge, of course. Oh man, that's like the sweet spot of the amp to me. You know what I'm saying? But since we're doing the rhythm thing, you know, pretty good. I like it. Okay, that's option number 1, more or less dirty. Option number 2, more or less spaciness. So for this, we're going to edit multiple parameters on the delay and verb because we just want to give us more of what we're doing. Now to do that, I'm actually going to come to the delay and verb. There's 2 things I want to assign more of. I want to give us more mix. So I'm going to assign this to foot switch 2. I'm also want to give us a little more feedback. I'm going to assign this to foot switch 2. Now we've got multiple things on foot switch 2. And then over here, I'm going to leave my pre-delay and everything alone. I just want to change the mix. Just give us more etherealness and less. So now I go over here to my control, and let me glance at these real quick. Okay, 24%. So I'm going to make this 24% is my minimum value because that's what I want the cleaner one to be. or I'm sorry, the less spacey one to be. And then for my upper value, I'm going to make it, let's try 40, but that's probably too much. Let's try 35. I'm building this live in front of you so you can really see kind of what's going on. Now, let's go back to our delay. We've got values of 30%, and this was supposed to be 20. So let's put it in the delay here. Let's put our minimum value on the feedback of 30. And we're going to make this 44%. I'm just making this up. I just kind of know how things sound because I've been doing this kind of a while. 20% here on the mix, but we're going to let this mix come up. But we don't want it to run away. So we're going to we sort of want a little doubling of it. So we're going to go 35 on the mix. Now 50%, if you want to know, 50% is where your initial note and the delayed notes are going to be even. So because it's a mix control. So how are we mixing it? So if it's 50-50, the delayed notes, the repeat notes are the same as the initial note. I know that as a reference point. I can come all the way up here and just have delayed notes, right? At 50-50, the mix is right in the middle. I want to back that off a bit. I don't want it quite that loud. And also, we're going to send everything into a pretty decent amount of reverb. Also, my buddy's just playing rhythm. He's not the lead guy here, so he maybe doesn't need the most space. And what we really want to do is make sure we don't get this in his way. So what we've got here is, you can see right here, if we go back to the edit window, when I hit button 2, it's switching this for me. When I hit button 2, it's switching the delay for me, the reverb and delay parameters. So we're leaving the reverb and delay on the whole time. So clean, we're going to get this with it off. Okay, that's with the normal verb and delay. That's sort of the more rhythm, stay out of the way, where you can do the drivey stuff. If we want more rhythm, if we want more delay and reverb, if we want to have that clean, maybe we've got. And we can have it dirty too. It works, you know what I mean? You can even come back here and do the dirty thing. Now, if you do want to jump up, So let's say you want some other worshipy type elements. I can put that in real quick. I'll show you guys what I do. Come here to dynamics, and you can do this red squeeze. And this is a real simple compressor, and it kind of does this thing. Look, let me show you with you off and on. What you can do is kind of give it more or less squeeze. Like even out the dynamics. You don't need to do this, but you certainly can. I wouldn't mind mixing in a little bit of this right here. So off and on the bridge sounds like this. We're evening out the dynamics just a bit. And so what we can do here is, by giving a little more squeeze and upping this too, we just give it a little more punch. And what we do is we're flattening out the dynamics. That sounds a little bigger. This sounds a little smaller, because actually I'm trying to not squeeze it too much, but I'm going to up this. With both of those things on. The reason I like that is on a rhythm guitar, it gives the sound guy a very nice, even leveled sound to just put in that mix, because you're not the thing that's trying to get past the vocals. You're not the thing that's trying to jump out at leads. You're the thing that just constantly stays there with the keys, with the bass, with the drums. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to give my buddy one of these because he might need this. This is a very simple tilt EQ. I'm going to leave it right in the middle for him. And this is what that's going to do. Let's say I'm right here. What that's going to do is, if he wants to go brighter, or if he wants to go darker. So he's got one knob. If they go, hey, it's too dark. Now I'm going to actually turn that off because I don't want it right now. And then the other thing we can do, if we really want to do something nice, let's come in here and let's put a little chorus. We're going to engage, we're going to assign, and that's going to give me the ability to turn that off and on. And when we go back to this low setting, so we just have this chorus now coming on when we have a little bit of like more room, more sound. And so that sounds like this. Without it and with it, it's going to sound like this when it's off. And now with it on. I'm going to take it down to like 15%, so I can do this. Boom. So now we've got more and less, and that more includes some chorus. So when I'm clean, and with the more, so that's it. That's it. We've got more or less dirt. And then we've got more or less space, and it sounds great. Let me show you what that sounds like with a track where I'm just playing along.